Welcome to this exploration of the wisdom of Laozi. Laozi, also known as Lao Tzu, was an ancient Chinese philosopher and the founder of Taoism. Understanding Laozi's aphorism. True knowledge is a deep understanding that goes beyond superficial facts. It requires years of study, experience, and reflection. For example, knowing the date of a historical event is superficial knowledge if it is not accompanied by an understanding of the causes and consequences of that event. Socrates, during his discussions with the Athenians, used the dialectical method to show that what they thought they knew was often just superficial knowledge. By asking simple but profound questions, he revealed the contradictions and gaps in their understanding. Language is a powerful but limited tool. It can convey factual information, but often fails to capture the essence of deep and subjective experiences. Describing a complex feeling or a mystical experience in words can often seem insufficient. Stephen Hawking, despite his major contributions to cosmology, often highlighted the limitations of language in explaining concepts such as black holes and the theory of everything. His writings show how difficult it is to communicate certain ideas even with analogies and metaphors. Laozi himself is often described as a wise and silent figure. Ramakrishna, an Indian mystic, often taught through eloquent silences. Pythagoras, famous for instituting a rule of silence among his disciples, believed that true knowledge comes from introspection rather than discourse. Pythagoras imposed several years of silence on his disciples to encourage them to reflect and meditate before speaking. This practice aimed to develop deep understanding and avoid hasty words. Individuals who talk a lot can often mask their insecurities or lack of deep understanding. They use speech to create an illusion of knowledge and mastery. In-depth analysis. Psychological studies show that verbal individuals often use speech as a defense mechanism. Talking allows them to control the conversation and avoid revealing their lack of knowledge or understanding. Superficial communication can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and widespread misinformation. It prevents deep and meaningful exchanges and fosters a culture of superficiality. Social media is often criticized for its contribution to the spread of false information. For example, during elections, unverified rumors can spread rapidly, significantly influencing public opinion. Superficial speeches have led to crises and disasters in history. Nazi propaganda, for instance, used simple yet powerful slogans to manipulate the masses, leading to catastrophic consequences. During World War II, Joseph Goebbels' propaganda relied on incessant repetition of simple lies, exploiting crowd psychology to provoke emotional reactions and manipulate public opinion. Silence allows for introspection and deep reflection. It provides a space to reconnect with oneself and with truths deeper than words can express. Meditation practices in Zen Buddhism value silence as a means to free the mind from distractions and focus on the essential. Zen masters often use silence to teach important lessons. Different cultures value silence uniquely. In some Eastern cultures, silence is seen as a sign of respect and wisdom, while in some Western cultures, it can be perceived as a sign of weakness or disinterest. In Japanese culture, silence, or ma, is considered a meaningful space between words, allowing communication to be deeper and more thoughtful. Contemporary figures like the Dalai Lama and Thich Nhat Hanh value silence in their teachings. They demonstrate that silence can be a source of strength and inner clarity. Thich Nhat Hanh, a Zen Buddhist monk, organizes silent retreats where participants spend several days in total silence to deepen their meditative practice and self-understanding. 2. Contemporary application of the aphorism. In our modern world, social media has created an information overload. Many speak, but few possess true knowledge. False information and superficial speeches proliferate, causing negative psychological and societal effects. Social media is often criticized for its contribution to the spread of false information. For example, during elections, unverified rumors can spread rapidly, significantly influencing public opinion. A recent study revealed that articles containing false information were shared 70% more often than truthful articles, highlighting the problem of information overload and the spread of fake news. In leadership, silence can be a powerful tool. Leaders who actively listen and speak thoughtfully are often more effective than those who speak excessively. Angela Merkel is an example of a leader whose reserve has been a strength, allowing for thoughtful and respected governance. Angela Merkel, known for her quiet leadership style, is often described as a leader who listens more than she speaks. Her approach allowed her to navigate through complex crises with thoughtful and balanced decision-making. During the 2008 financial crisis, Merkel adopted a measured and calm approach, prioritizing reflection and consultation before making crucial decisions for the German economy. In personal relationships, active listening and nonverbal communication can strengthen bonds. Conflicts caused by excessive communication can often be avoided through a more reflective and silent approach. Psychological research shows that active listening and silence in conversations can improve relationship satisfaction and reduce conflicts. For example, couples who practice active listening have higher levels of relationship satisfaction. A couple married for 50 years attributed the longevity of their marriage to their ability to listen without interrupting and to appreciate silent moments together, thereby strengthening their emotional connection. There are 3 modern examples illustrating the aphorism. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates are innovators who illustrate Laozi's aphorism. Their achievements speak louder than their words, demonstrating the power of silent reflection and action. Steve Jobs was known for his intense periods of reflection before making major decisions. For example, he spent weeks in silence and meditation before launching the iPhone, a product that revolutionized the tech industry. Elon Musk, despite his activity on Twitter, spends long periods in silence, focusing on solving complex problems in his companies, which allows him to innovate in fields as diverse as aerospace and energy. On social media, influencers who prioritize quality over quantity are often more respected. They share thoughtful and meaningful content, contrasting with those who produce excessive and superficial posts. Influencers like Mr. Beat are respected for their thoughtful and inspiring content. Rather than posting constantly, they take the time to create messages that have a deep impact on their audience. Mr. Beat often shares messages about the importance of patience and reflection in personal and professional success, demonstrating the value of quality over quantity. Angela Merkel is an example of a political leader who uses silence to her advantage. Her reserved approach led to thoughtful and respected decisions, illustrating the effectiveness of silent leadership. During the European migrant crisis, Angela Merkel made difficult and controversial decisions, but her reflective and silent leadership style allowed her to navigate criticism and maintain a firm stance on humanitarianism. Despite criticism, Merkel maintained a calm and thoughtful attitude, avoiding fiery speeches and preferring measured actions, which strengthened her credibility and international respect. Challenges and misunderstandings of the aphorism. It is important to note that silence is not always the best solution. In some situations, speaking is crucial, such as in the context of defending human rights or preventing disasters. Speech can save lives and prevent catastrophes. Martin Luther King Jr. used the power of speech to mobilize millions of people for civil rights in the United States. His "I Have a Dream" speech remains an iconic example of the impact that speech can have. Malala Yousafzai, a young activist for girls' education, used her voice to draw global attention to the importance of education, demonstrating that sometimes speaking out is necessary to bring about change. Laozi's aphorism can be misinterpreted. It does not advocate for absolute silence, but for thoughtful and meaningful communication. A correct interpretation involves knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. In some cultures, silence can be misinterpreted as a sign of weakness or disinterest. It is crucial to understand the context and culture to apply the aphorism appropriately. During an international negotiation, a French diplomat misinterpreted the silence of his Japanese counterpart as a sign of agreement, when it was actually a moment of deep reflection. This mistake led to misunderstandings and complications in the negotiations. In summary, Laozi's aphorism, "He who knows does not speak, he who speaks does not know," reminds us of the value of deep knowledge, silent reflection, and meaningful communication. In our modern world, where information is abundant but often superficial, applying this wisdom can help us cultivate more authentic interactions and more reflective lives. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this exploration of Laozi's wisdom enriching, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more philosophical and inspiring content. See you soon for another reflection on ancient wisdom applied to our modern lives.